Jumbo. My hair is blonde again, pretty much. Other than the roots. I did the roots last night. Well, Adam did them for me. So they are a little bit orange. Before I used the Colour Charm by... who the hell was that? Wella. And it faded really, really quick. Don't get me wrong, I've had colours that have faded as quick, if not quicker, but I expected the grey to stay because the blonde that I was from the Colour Charm in another shade stayed around for quite a while. But I'm bored of using toners now. Like, I used the blonde toner and added that over peroxide, and I don't want to keep like putting products in my hair that have peroxide in it. So today I'm actually going to go back to my old trusty dusty vegetable based hair dyes because that's where my true heart lies. And I've got some crazy colour semi-permanent with me. I've actually got 4 of these. I got these from Blue Banana. Add this to a bit of conditioner, I think, and just have this in general every now and again when I'm washing my hair. Add a bit of tint to the shampoo and conditioner just to add a bit of colour in, because the thing is with grey, it's more just like a tone of colour, if that makes sense. Like, it's not as though I get to a faded grey, like it's always grey and then it suddenly isn't grey. As in, like, I just need to kind of top it up rather than do a dye job. I think having grey hair basically is a bit more of a ongoing thing. Like, you have to sort of top up every time you wash your hair, even if that just means using a silver or purple based shampoo and conditioner, which I have actually bought now. Did you see anyone go past there? No? Okay. So I bought the Touch of Silver Provoke shampoo and the Touch of Silver conditioner. I think these are fairly new on the market, and they basically just make sure that orange doesn't come creeping back in. And that's kind of what I mean by the fact it's like an ongoing process. Whereas when I had red hair, for example, I just waited for it to go orange and then I just did another red job. But with this, grey just seems a bit more effort and it can just slip away quite quickly. Like, you look away for 5 seconds and you're like, crap, my hair's not grey anymore. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put a towel on. I asked you guys on my Instagram story for any fun questions that we can answer as part of the video. So I'll basically just answer those while plonking this on. So I would say if I'd done my hair grey at the very beginning of lockdown, it probably took around 3 weeks before it started to look basically blonde. That's without me even using like a grey hair shampoo or grey hair conditioner. That's with me washing my hair with warm water and all of that jazz. So it's just basically the dark tone that like fades first, and as soon as that undertone is gone, the orange creeps through. So I got this question quite a lot: when will you finally dye your hair green? This answer has actually changed since I got my hair so light. Anyone into hair is fully aware that green is hard to remove once it's in. It's a very stubborn colour. Actually, I'm going to be experimenting for quite a while with more pastel colours. Not that I'm really a big fan of pastel, to be honest, but I just think that's a little bit more sensible personally. So I feel like green won't be until I've got bored of that basically, and then I'll probably work with greens and blues at the same time, because blue's just as harsh on your hair, and if I'm gonna do something crazy I might as well do it with blue too. And I feel like blue tones of green look really cool. I'd feel like a mermaid or something, so that's my next goal. But I honestly don't think that will be until like the end of this year, you know. I'm just enjoying the light haired life. And I can't really just do a light green as a safer option, because I don't really like, I'm not a massive fan of lime hair. I'm sorry if you've got lime green hair, but if I'm going to do green, I want it a forest green, so I really don't want to be forest green anytime soon, because it will really just destroy this blonde. Did I even mention what colour I'm using today? I wasn't really sure what brand to use and what colour to use, so I just thought, F it, I'll try this one, see how it goes. I get the impression that you can't really go wrong with greys. I get the impression that you can't really go wrong with greys. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not a massive amount of difference you can get in the different shades, and I don't know if you can get greys with like certain undertones that you want to avoid or want to aim for or whatever, because like with reds, for example, I tend to avoid reds with an orange undertone because it will fade to an orange rather than I would usually want to go for a pink undertone. I also got this question quite a lot: what colour haven't you had? And also, what colour wouldn't you have? I haven't had green yet, which is why I want to try that next and why I keep teasing about going green, but I haven't done that yet. Like, I used to tell myself I won't go green because I don't think I'd suit it, and it's quite like a bold colour, but now I've got to the point where I'm so bored of every other colour. Like, I want that bold kind of dramatic look. And also my eyes are green, so I feel like it will really bring out my eye colour. So now I do think I will suit it. And I used to tell people I haven't been blonde or silver, but obviously now I have. Well, I've been a grey. I don't know if is silver the same thing as grey? I guess I haven't been like any neon colours because they don't really interest me. Like, as in I haven't been like well, I suppose yellow was a neon, wasn't it? Pastel colours, I suppose then. Because I guess neon would be lime green as well, and I don't think I'd want to be lime green anytime. And yeah, I think pastel's the only ones left. The only ones left that I haven't done are the ones that I just don't want to do, other than green. That's one I do want to do. So that kind of answers both questions. I wouldn't be like UV. Wow, you can really see how this is going to look. I'm excited. This is a good question. And it's funny that you asked this question. V_AB. I put a bit of bleach on Adam's hair last night, just under his fringe, nothing drastic, because I think we're thinking of putting a little bit of grey in his hair eventually. I don't really know, we'll see how it goes. Like, I'm not promising anything, and I'll show you when it's finished. That's literally the first time I think he's ever put bleach in his hair before. He's put like a blue black in his hair before, like before I met him, but it kind of just went black because it wasn't lightened before he did it. So I'm excited to see if he's gonna get like the knack of, like, you know, like when you first put down your hair, you first see yourself with like a finished hair colour and you kind of like want to try everything and you get kind of addicted. I'm intrigued to see if he's gonna like enjoy that life, but we'll see. It might not even look good and it might just fade really quick, etc. But I'm hoping it turns out okay. But at the moment he's just got like a gingery bleach under his fringe, and then we're gonna try and get it blonde and then put some grey in it. Have you ever effed up your hair so bad you didn't know how to fix it? I think the worst way I've ever got my hair was from loads of colour build up. I think I went from red to blue a bit too quickly. I didn't like give my hair a chance to sort of fade the colour out and give myself a nice base, and so I had bright blue roots and then like dark blue tips. And I mean, I don't really care because I went around like it and I wasn't too bothered, but I literally didn't know how to fix it, and I also couldn't be asked to fix it because my hair just felt quite damaged, and I knew that if I was to do much with it I'd get myself in a sticky situation probably. So what did I do? I ended up cutting it all off. That was back when everyone was getting bobs and like really short hair was a thing, and I just thought everyone looked so amazing with short hair. Like, people were suiting it so well, so I was like, I'm gonna do it, and literally no regrets. Like, I loved having short hair for that little while, particularly because my hair grows back so quickly. Another disaster I had was probably when I first used bleach. Like most people, when they're new to bleaching, they think that bleaching something is going to give you a finished result, but it's not. It's just part of a process. It's a bleaching process a lot of the time. So my sister was new to it as well, so she used me as a guinea pig, and I wanted to have blonde hair. She put this bleach on, washed it off, and it was just this like orange streaky mess. Like, nothing was even. It was bright orange with some like brown streaks, and I was mortified. I was young and like didn't really understand colour theory. Like, I didn't really understand how it could be possible to remove the orange. I just thought you bleach once and that's, you know, done. I didn't even know there were shampoos at that point that could work and help. and I didn't realise that you kind of have to agree to look crazy for a little bit when you're still in the bleach process. Me being dramatic, started crying loads, and my mum was laughing. She was laughing at the fact that I refused to get out of bed. I didn't want anyone to see me. In the evening, I was just like, oh god, this has gone terribly. But like, it didn't hit me until the morning, and I woke up and just cried. And it's funny because that evening I dyed my hair. I really wanted to see my best friend who just lived down the road. And I think she asked for me to spontaneously come over, and I really wanted. I think that's because she actually found a spider in her bedroom and she couldn't bear to pick it up. She's like, please come over and do it. And I really wanted to help her, but I was just too embarrassed to leave the house. Nowadays, I would have just said fuck it, and I would have been a laughing stock and been happy to make people laugh, I wouldn't care. But then I was young and insecure. So that was pretty disastrous, and I literally didn't know what to do at that early stage. So I forced my mum and sister to go to Sally's beauty salon and pick me up something that will cover it up, and we put red on, I think, or black or brown, basically something that would cover the orange. I should have put red. I don't think it was red because it would have gone a really bright red and I would have remembered that, so I think it must have just been a brown or something, or a black, because brown would have probably gone green. But I so wish I could go back in time and say, Ellie, don't worry, you can be bright red if you want, we can work on getting these orange bits out. Your hair is practically virgin hair, so you could probably do another bleach job. And I think my sister was telling me those things, to be fair, but I didn't really believe her or trust her. And my mum kept pushing me for a photo. She was like, it would just be so funny to look back on, you'll always remember this as an adult. And I remember thinking as a kid, why would I always remember this? No thanks. But literally, look at me now, I'm 25 years old and I'm remembering it, and I wish she took a photo. But she said she didn't want to feel like some sort of child abuser making me take a photo when I was in tears of my hair, so she didn't. I think if I was her, I would have secretly taken one, because I'm just pure evil. The best technique for half and half. I'm dyeing half of mine black very soon. Black's the easiest colour to go, so you'll be fine. Just don't use a box dye. Use a semi-permanent black, please. You've got to think about how you're gonna ever get out of that. Going black is a little bit like putting yourself in a bit of a trap. Once you're in, it's kind of hard to get out. It's a bit like renting a flat. I think half and half is a really good way to kind of introduce yourself to bright colours, because you're only dedicating half of your head to it, so if it F's up, you've only got half of a head to work with. I would say you kind of probably need someone to help you at the back, because it's going to be hard to get that part in. If you're going to need to bleach, which you won't with black, but anyone else watching this, if you want to go half and half and you're going to need to bleach to lighten your hair to get started with that, I would suggest someone else parting your hair for that. Just because trying to do a really precise split hair job and then just bleaching one side of your hair is really hard to do using a mirror. Like I said, with black that should be easy. If one of the sides you're dyeing is a bright colour and not black, then I'd even recommend washing half of your head at a time. So if you've got pink on one side of your head, maybe wash that side with cold water and then the other side with warm. I know that sounds crazy, but it'll help it last long. If you're going half black, you won't need to worry about that. Ooh, speaking of my short hair, do you miss your short hair? Not currently, no. Sometimes I look at pictures and I'm like, oh, I look cute like that. But I'm now loving long hair. I feel like most people have long hair at the moment because of lockdown. But I just love how long hair can make your outfits look a bit cool. Do you know what I mean? I like how my outfits look with long hair. So no is the short answer to that. What was your least favourite colour and why was it pink with bleached ends? She is referring to this phase in my life. You know what though, that wasn't actually my least favourite hair colour, because at the time I thought it was quite cool and everyone said I looked like those sweets that are pink and white. I mean, it didn't look the best, but I personally feel like that time I was telling you about when I had blue hair, bright blue roots with dark blue tips was a lot worse because I felt more embarrassed. People said to me all the time why is her hair two different colours, and it felt damaged, so that made me more insecure. At least with the pink and white it was unique and different and it kind of looked deliberate, whereas people knew what I'd done with the blue. They knew it had gone wrong, they knew I had hot roots. I'm gonna vote with that, but I also hate purple hair on me, purple all over. Is there a certain style you'd never do, like a mullet, pixie cut, etc.? Probably something like this permanently. Never been a fan of scraping back your hair like this as an actual style. But no, yeah, I wouldn't ever do a pixie cut. They're not really for me. I think they look so cute on some people. Same with a mullet. I don't think it would suit me, but some people rock mullets. Particularly, I've got a thing for forest green mullets. I think people look like little forest fairies and I think you're adorable. But I don't think I would do that personally. I just don't think I would do anything with major short hair, basically, is the summary of that. I don't really like shaving any parts of your hair, undercuts, anything like that. You know, when like people also lift up the back of their hair and there's like something going on at the back. I'm not really interested in that either. Asymmetric also isn't really my thing. This is the thing though, I don't look at other people with that hairstyle and be like, ew. I just don't think I'll suit some of that stuff, or I just wouldn't feel confident with it for some reason. Mohican. I also wouldn't get the Mohican. I think I just like quite like feminine hairstyles. How to stop the colour from bleeding everywhere? If you mean when you wash it, cold water. You can't ever get it wet. If you're sleeping on a white pillowcase, or you've got white clothes, I would avoid white clothes altogether, to be fair. And if you sleep on a white pillowcase, like when I stay in hotels and stuff, I put a towel down just in case. You're gonna have to make sure that you've got all the hair colour out if you're really worried about it bleeding everywhere. Like some people like semi-wash their hair colour out and know that they've got a bit of colour still left in their head, and then they'll just kind of like dry their hair, get on with their day, and like it will just wash out in their next wash, if that makes sense. Like if you're using a vegetable based dye, a lot of people do that, but that means you'll probably bleed a lot when you sweat and stuff, or like when it rains or whatever. But there's also a lot of brands and shades that don't bleed as much as others. You'll have to do your research. There's a lot of like forums out there that talk about stuff like that. If you like Google a certain brand and then a certain shade and then the word bleeding, a lot of people talk about if they bleed as much as other ones they've tried, which is weird. I don't really understand why certain brands do it more than others, but I do know that you can do your research. And if you're someone who really doesn't want to deal with bleeding ever, and maybe that makes you self-conscious, or it's just not your thing, like you just don't want to deal with that stress, then I'd recommend you go a colour that stains your hair like a bitch, so you don't have to ever worry about it coming out, such as blue or green or black, I guess. Black's probably a colour I also wouldn't go anytime soon. Not because I don't like the colour black, but because if I was to go black, I'd want like a striking colour, like in the fringe or, I don't know, somewhere else in the hair. Because I just find like I'd get too bored with it. And also that's a really bad colour to be if you're getting bored of it, because it'll be a ball ache to get out. Dyeing your eyebrows to match the hair, yes or no? Yes. In fact, I love when people do that, even with makeup, like they put the same colour makeup as they have hair in the eyebrows, and I've always wanted to do that, and I've always said I'll do that, and then I just never remember, like I forget. That's the thing. I've fallen into the trap of just, with my eyebrows, like my routine has stayed the same for years and years. But I mean, now I've got grey hair, I don't actually think that I have the opportunity to do that at the moment. I think certain colours look really cool, like green, if you had green eyebrows with green hair, or red eyebrows with red hair. Even blue, actually, yeah. I just think maybe yellow wouldn't necessarily look good, and that's about it, really. I think even purple would look pretty cool. Pink, yes. Basically, yes, I'm all for that. So, hair dye is on the head. I might go in and have a little rummage around when I'm not on camera, because it's kind of hard to look at my face and talk at the same time. So I'll be back when I've washed my hair off. Ding! So the camera is picking up my hair. Not gonna lie, a lot better than it is in person, but I'm gonna try and like lift up parts of my hair so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. Basically, this is very blue based. Reverse back in time to when I was literally saying earlier on today, grey's just like, you don't have to worry as much about the base colour of a grey, blah blah blah. I don't know, I must have been talking out of my actual arse, because clearly there are bases. I've got a lot of research to learn when it comes to greys. I don't know whether I should try putting it on without any conditioner to see if I would get myself the actual like result it was supposed to be, which is probably a lot darker than this. I know a few people will also say, hey, you should try it when your hair's wet instead of dry. So I think I probably will try that because I know Crazy Colour recommends that. I try avoid doing that to remove the chances of any streakiness, but this has come forward. This is so streaky. It hasn't really taken on the roots. There are some like yellow, orange roots. I'm wondering whether I should brave going in again with more colour without the conditioner and with wet hair and just seeing where that goes. And it's a lot easier to put on wet hair anyway, so I think when I come out of the shower and have done my shampoo and conditioner, I might just like plunk loads on, watch a TV program, and then like plunk my head back under some water, just rinse it off, and then see what happens. I think that's gonna be my next move. But I mean, at least it stayed in the icy realm of colour, because that means it's cancelled out some of the orange, so I do have a nice icy base, which is good, because if I'm staying grey then I need as many icy tones in my hair as possible. So I'm grateful for that. I was just very shocked about how blue this was. Let me know what you think though. The blue is more prominent in the fringe, and the rest of my hair is like this weird blue-grey. I'm intrigued to see what this fades to, but I guess you'll have to watch my channel to watch it fade in each video that I make. I will be probably trying the Wella toner again, because as soon as I washed this off, I immediately missed the grey that my hair was before when I did it the first time, so I will probably try that again in the future. So if you see my hair suddenly go dark, but not yet, I need to get through 4 tubs of Crazy Colour Slate first. Let me know if you've had experience with that product in particular, or maybe if you know a good grey that I can try, hit me up. Thank you very much for watching. As always, subscribe to my channel to be notified every time I make a brand new video, because I'm more than likely to be making more hair dye videos soon. I'm on social media such as Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me on Patreon. Loads of love from my house to yours. Bye.